the universe is constantly expanding, and not like, if you think about a mesh, which is space-time, it's expanding in the sense that like it's not just going out this way and there's more lines being added, but it's the fabric of space-time is being stretched from every point. It started as a black hole and it will end as a black hole, and it continues being a black hole that expands and breathes, essentially.
I think the deeper the meaning you put into life, the more freedom you have.
We'll continue to
However,
have it forever.
what if we can do something as a collective, and that's where my meaning comes. I don't know if this is true, that prevents it from expanding so much that it will collapse. So give it enough
And you
energy
watch it
from
go like
all
this?
angles, it would actually make it go vertical. It would actually make it go vertical and spin.
And that question is, how do you stop the universe from expanding, reaching its heat death, and collapsing again?
Really?
How do you hold?
Oh my
how
God!
How do you reverse entropy?
On a huge loop, because one of the conversations I had, which is something I wanted to bring to you in terms of freedom, is that this guy was saying that death is the ultimate freedom. So one is free when one dies. And I know it was so harsh, and it was so like, oh my God, what are you trying to say? Because, and then he argued that because you're not limited by any of the physical limitations, intellectual limitations, and maybe about the limitations that we were just talking about, the 20 parameters that we have, or the 20 going back to the chess, the example that we were saying, that those set of limitations, the place that you were born, the place of origin, where you were, and all of that, you were free from that.
Yeah.
And so you're still existing, but you're not conditioned by all of these things.
I suppose, I mean, you would, the difficult thing with that is that you would have to prove an existence beyond death and an existence beyond what we are. So like you would have to not prove, but like you have to make the assumption of spiritualism, of like you exist as a spirit, or like you exist as a soul, and that you continue existing as a soul, you have an afterlife.
Okay.
Because
that is true. That only the premise can only be proven true.
Yeah, so it's like you would have to speak with like a like-minded person that like, yeah, you continue being after, for that to be like discussed. So like if I was having that discussion with him, I would say like, well, I would argue very differently that like your freedom ends the moment you die, because you can no longer experience, and I only know what I experience. Like I haven't experienced anything spiritual, so for me it's like spirituality like may as well not exist.
Well, I love that. We're gonna have two opposing perspectives, because for me everything is incredibly spiritual. And and I think without it life ceases to have any purpose and meaning, and therefore without meaning you have less freedom. I think the deeper the meaning you put into life, the more freedom you have. Because the more freedom you have to choose according to that purpose.
So do you believe that there is a meaning of life?
Yes.
Can you quantify it in like, or can you say like this is it?
I mean, I don't think I can say this is it, but it's the one that according to my experience, it has come to my awareness that it makes the most sense. And I love that we're actually here, because I actually think it's even related to this shape. Because this shape, the diamond shape, kind of like this.
Yeah, we'll call it a smooth diamond.
Is smooth diamond. Actually, I'm gonna
take a photo for reference.
It's just a video, and then the viewers
can be overlapped
and see, because it's actually present in so many symbols. It's present in the Star of David. If you look at it, it's present in the Rastafarian symbol. It's present in so many places around. Like if you start looking and if you start paying attention to the diamond shape, it's literally everywhere.
Just like the actual shape of a diamond?
Yeah.
Or
it was in the tapestries in the back, and it's actually my first video that I have on here. It's in the shape of a premise that Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know, the guy, he and other astronomers were researching that this is the shape and the life cycle of our galaxy. So that it starts here in a black hole at the bottom of it. Actually, let me keep filming. It's so a black hole. Yeah, you do it. So the black hole, is it?
Oh,
the black hole started here, right? And as in, this is the shape of the diamond. And it keeps going all the way to here, and another black hole happens at the other end of the diamond shape. And then it comes. Actually, we don't even have to come here. We just have to keep going. Another another black hole, another black hole, another black hole, another black hole. And this is the endless life of our galaxy. This all the way. And from
okay.
black hole to black hole, we are now
So you're
approaching
saying,
here. Like,
sorry.
because this is the
Oh,
climax.
I understand what you mean. Oh, okay.
So-
there's a term for this. It's like the space-time slingshot, or like the space-time collapsing upon itself once it expands a certain point.
Really? I didn't know this. Yeah. But
Okay,
I
yeah.
guess-
We could
I
talk
guess
about
that-
this.
Do you know about this?
I know somewhat. Like I stopped recording. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so we are approaching
So you're
the
saying that
climax
this
in
was
the middle, right?
this
in
is the
middle.
lifestyle of the universe. Okay, I was literally just talking to my girlfriend
You
about this
were?
recently.
Oh my god! So please tell me. I love
And
this.
I made an assumption, or like when I was talking to her, I was like, oh, what if it's this? And then I searched it up. It's like a genuine concept. So
I love that this is here. This is crazy. Okay.
So there is so the universe is constantly expanding, right? And
Yes.
I thought about this because I was reading a book about space-time that was explaining space-time and just time in general.
Okay.
So the universe is constantly expanding, and not like, if you think about a mesh, which is like space-time, it's expanding in the sense that like it's not just going out this way and there's more lines being added, but it's the fabric of space-time is being stretched from every point. So the space between me and you is this much, but as space expands, the space between us gets further, as well as the space between me and everything else.
Oh wow.
Right? So it's arguing, like, what I think this is that it's like a cyclical, like a heartbeat almost, in the sense that the universe started from a singularity, exploded in a big bang, continued stretching until the point where if you think about it as a fabric, the fabric of space-time, like a balloon, could not stretch anymore and collapsed amongst itself. Like it collapsed and just immediately snapped back
Thus
into
creating the other-
thus going
the
to
other
another
black-
singularity,
okay.
and which creates another big bang, which expands and goes back and forth.
this
Also,
is a
not to
never-ending
argue
repeating
my
cycle.
determinism, but like that would prove determinism in a sense. That like if you have the same explosion over and over, then the exact same outcome happens every single time.
Okay.
The same parameters, the same
Yeah.
laws or whatever. Then everything that happens will happen and has happened and will continue to happen
However,
forever.
what if we can do something as a collective? And that's where my meaning comes in. I don't know if this is true, that prevents it from expanding so much that it will collapse. So it will just sustain a certain level
Like in
of
a physical
expansion.
sense.
In a physical
If in a
sense.
physical sense, if you think about the fabric of space-time, you're talking about stopping
The motion,
the expansion.
the expansion. With
Wait, hold on, who's,
with halting,
so-
halting, not stopping, halting.
Halting.
Yeah. Because it will
Have you
still
heard of
sustain.
Isaac Asimov? Do you know
No,
Asimov?
no.
You should search The Final Question. It's a
Ooh.
short story.
I already like it.
So the final question, it's like the heat death of the universe. It's oh god, what's it called? There's a word for it where things entropy. Entropy. So Isaac Asimov's short story, The Final Question, talks about a world where they have a brilliant AI, right? Genuinely can compute everything, and one time, and it can answer every question. If you just ask it a question, it will answer if it has enough information. And there's a point that someone asks it the last question that it will ever answer, right? And that question is, how do you stop the universe from expanding, reaching its heat death, and collapsing again?
Really?
How do you halt?
Oh my
How do you reverse entropy?
Yes.
And when they ask it, initially it goes, I don't know, I don't have enough information, I don't have enough knowledge, I don't know enough of the parameters, I don't know enough of everything to be able to answer that question. Because if you want to think that you can affect things, then you need to know that causality, you can affect everything around you. That we are not limited in any way. That we can act in whichever way, and that we can solve everything through maths and physics to be able to engineer a way around it, or engineer a way to stop entropy. So you ask they ask this AI, like, how do you stop entropy? And it goes, I don't know. Like, ask, like, I'll continue processing until I have an answer. And then 1,000 years pass, and someone else goes, yeah, actually, like, how would we stop that? How would we stop entropy? Like, how do we stop the heat death of the universe? And it goes, I don't know. I don't know.
Should we ask right now?
Millennia
know?
pass? No, because it's like it's a really great thing, and
I don't really do it.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'll wait for the train to pass.
Yes, please.
Do you want me to tell you like what it answers, or do you want to go and figure it out? Because the way that it's like written is like really brilliant.
Can we compare the two? Wait, I'm gonna do both.
Oh well, I mean you can ask it how do you prevent entropy?
Prevent.
Or reverse entropy, I think.
I think you said reverse. Let's do reverse.
I think the question was.
Not reverse, because then reverse would come back down, but prevent.
Yeah, reverse and entropy is in like the laws of thermodynamics that everything leads to chaos, which means that eventually everything will run out of energy and die. Like we'll run out of thing.
You can't prevent entropy entirely.
It's a fundamental principle of the universe. Yeah.
We can manage or delay its effects in certain systems.
Yeah, but
What
you can't
is an
prevent it. You
entropy?
can slow it down potentially.
Yeah.
So then it goes into like a. Yeah.
Create open systems. Organize and maintain.
So yeah, entropy in the term of like thermodynamics is that like there will not be enough energy to like sustain everything will cool down essentially. The entire universe will spread out far enough and all the energy will be expelled and things will no longer like continue. Like between us there is energy. There is like genuine kinetic or thermal energy or whatever that keeps things functioning the way that we are. Because we keep spreading that energy, the resources are finite, and if you stretch the fabric far enough, what is happening right now is things clashing. If you spread things out far enough so that they no longer clash or there's nothing around them to clash, there's an infinite amount of space between every particle, everything, then things can no longer clash, therefore nothing will ever be. Because nothing will ever react, because everything is a reaction of everything before it. Mm-hmm. The chess game, like everything, is a reaction of everything before it. So if you can, because we are stretching, because we are doing this, you can argue that yes, it's elastic and it will go and back, or you can argue that it's going to just keep going and we can't stop it. And things will die out. So there is the heat death, which is everything goes out, mm-hmm. and there's you could argue that there is a elasticity that everything goes back. Now there is almost, I would say, proof that it's elastic because there is a formula that scientists use to figure out whether a certain amount of mass over a certain amount of space will become a singularity, like this point, right?
Do you know which one is it?
Which
formula?
Formula? I don't know the formula name, but you can search it up. Like it's.
What would that be called? The formula.
Just say determining if something is a singularity, maybe. Formula. But essentially you can say, if I have a kilo, how dense does that kilo, or if I have like a certain amount of mass, how dense does that certain amount of mass need to be before it becomes a singularity, a black hole? Like dense enough that the fabric of space-time is bent so far that light cannot escape it.
The light cannot what?
Light cannot escape it. Nothing can escape its gravitational pull. Now, if you take our calculated amount of mass in the universe and our calculated space, so we say like, hey, this is the universe, this is how much it weighs, and this is how far it's spread out over. If you put that on the fabric of space-time and we use that equation, would this be a black hole? And the answer is yes.
Coming from that singularity.
That we are already a singularity. Which kind of proves this, that we are, and we are going towards a singularity, or we already are, there's like that we haven't spread out enough that we are no longer a singularity. Essentially, everything is happening, like right now.
At the same moment.
Everything.
That kind of proves the whole
the snapping back and forth. Yeah, that we are is that it started as a black hole and it will end as a black hole, and it continues being a black hole that expands and breathes essentially.
Sorry, I have to do this because I really want to show the whole No, but that is true, and I mean that is true. I mean, this from my understanding as well, from what
Yeah,
I've heard.
also
This is how
not
it
a
has been.
scientist.
Yeah.
So,
No, yeah, this is all both of us
Yeah.
trying to philosophize. But like, I've heard from a physicist that this shape, this actual shape, just like here, but like vertical, which is a pendulum, I think.
okay.
Is this what it's called? Vertically. And if you give it enough energy, there's actually a short about this, I can show you, and they did this experiment. And if you give it enough energy, actually, you don't even have to make it vertical. If you give it enough energy.
When you say make it vertical, you mean like flip it like this way?
Yeah, if you give it enough
And you
energy
watch it
from
go like
all
this?
angles, it would actually make it go vertical. It would actually make it go vertical and spin. So giving enough energy, external energy. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll send it to you at the end. It will literally make it, and it will be impossible to come back down unless the energy also then diminishes again.
Like,
and
so
again,
you're
it
saying
goes.
as like a two-dimensional shape.
It will turn
will-
into a three-dimensional shape. Yes, it's pretty mind-blowing, and so I think that is what can happen to the actual galaxy that we're living in.
That like you can give it enough energy, you can give it,
Yes.
you can affect it so that it doesn't do that. And are you saying in the sense that it's it's one pyramid that you can bring up, that you can stop, and then therefore point it away from the other ones, stopping
Yes.
the cycle? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And have it be basically an outcast and to stop the and then
Could
I'm
you
not
consider that if
not
it's
really
like a
sure.
chain, right? If you did this to a chain, it goes up like that. What if you giving enough energy does that, but that's already connected? So like you're going like.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess
are
we'll
you,
turn it
or are
into
you
a
saying
bump.
you're breaking, if each of these is a chain link, are you saying that you're moving the chain link away from it, you're breaking that cycle?
I don't know if it will break though, because it seems that they're so entangled that
Yeah.
it's meant to stay, but I think
It's-
it will turn it so that actually I should be filming.
So, like, if you
stuff.
think about, like-
it will basically make you see. So if it's vertical right here, you see,
Yeah.
it will basically make you see all of those that you weren't seeing before because you were flat. You were flat. Like you could only see from this perspective and from this dimension. And
So,
when
like,
you
looking
actually
down
turn it up, and I think this will be, different planets, different species, different galaxies, different.
Yeah.
We will
So
move into
When
an
you say this
identity.
shape, so let's, like, seeing this shape, do you mean like having like two, let's say, balls? Like if you want to treat it like a pendulum, you
Yeah.
have two balls that go out and back and forth. Are they like following this track, let's say? Now, if I bring that vertically and I look at it from I take this second dimension away from it where I'm looking down, and I look at it as one dimension, I'm then seeing two balls do this, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying that given enough energy, you can shift your perspective so that you see it going like that, or
No,
that
you can literally-
instead of seeing them do this, you see them do this.
I've never thought about it like that. But just because we have this right here, I'm going to use it as this. Because when I thought about it, I just thought that you can give it enough energy that it will sustain itself spinning vertically. So this part, I'm assuming this part right here, because assuming that this is where it happens, I love this. Let's just see this as like, we've tried all of this. We've been here before as a humanity, all of these times, all of these big bangs. And we're now in this one, let's just say. This is our 8th, 9th, whatever trial right now. And so in this lifetime, thinking that this is one black hole and this is the other one, and
In
we're
this
here,
instance,
we're
and if
attaining
we
the
are-
climax right here.
Yeah.
Because, that's what it's also
Before
in
the
the
snapping
book.
back, yeah?
Yeah, before the snapping back. You can, within this one, have enough energy that you'll flip it back up. So this one will be flipped up.
That's very
but
interesting
I don't
that
know if
you're saying like you're
these-
adding a dimension.
Yes, you literally add a dimension. You understand me well, I love that. You literally add a dimension. Let me see if I can actually pull up the video of the spinning pendulum, because it proves so much if I can actually find it because it was so. Such
Are you
a
talking
long
about
time ago.
they have a wheel. They have a spoke and a wheel, and they spin it, and it will. If you spin it, it comes up. Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Like a centrifuge?
I think so, but I think it's almost like it's not necessarily almost like a diamond shape like this guy, but it's almost or what is it, diagonal? No, it's not diamond shape, but it's almost like it's three-dimensional. It's like
Yeah, and they spin it.
God,
We should take away his freedom to ride that bike.
right?
So I think I know what you're talking about, where they have.
You see if I can.
Oh, and you can't push it down. Yeah, that's a. I think I've seen that video. It's
They just have so much energy.
it's like
coming that it's
Veritasium
just-
or something that did a video on that maybe.
Maybe.
But essentially, he has this. He has like a spinning top that's attached to a wire, and then the spinning top like comes up. He's got a wheel, yeah, and the wheel comes up and just spins around, like on a centrifuge.
I think that's what it is. Let me
Let me
I'm
search
like,
wheel
yeah.
spinning on a centrifuge.
You go do that. I'm gonna go.
But they add spin to it, and it doesn't drop. It stays up. Is that what you meant?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
If you give it enough energy, you literally.
Like it will sustain its own. It will sustain upright. Yeah. Yeah. So that's.
Let me just. Yeah, there you go. Right there. Well, then we'll show it. Yeah.
Show it to the
that
audience.
proves. I didn't see it with the bike wheel. I saw it with something else, but that
Yeah.
also proves it.
It proves that like.
Given enough energy, given enough.
Yeah, given the does the spinning wheel define gravity? No, it obeys it. It's conservation of angular momentum. So it's Newton's
Can you
one
please
of
send me
Newton's
that?
law. Yeah. Just search. I just searched bicycle, gyroscope bicycle wheel.
Wait. This guy.
Yeah, that's the one that I watched. But they're all
You watched
proving
the
it.
one that has
They're all proving the same thing.
301 million
If
views,
I
right?
hold it like this and I let it go.
Yeah.
So they all prove the same thing.
God. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying. I mean, we're totally off topic, but just to wrap up, or if you want to add something, and thanks for understanding and for being
it's
part
good.
of this because I loved it. I think adding meaning to that, thinking that it will literally give it another dimension, and something that ChatGPT, I just quickly looked at, like at the edge of my eyeball, I didn't even go deep into it, but something that can add and actually halt in its entropy is by giving more meaningfulness. Well, here, so philosophy and life, entropy can be seen metaphorically. Relationships fade, memories degrade, habits decay. You can resist this by practicing mindfulness and renewal, investing energy in nurturing what you want to preserve, letting go when entropy is part of necessary change. Death, decay, and loss. So, and I think this, in other words, this means being more mindful, more conscious, and being a more conscious being, and evolving in a consciousness being. And so, this is what
Like purely by being mindful of it. Like to put it in a.
Also, this is
in a
something
very
we talked
straight
about
way.
it at the discussion tonight.
That like being mindful of things or thinking about something or something existing will keep it going. That's the only thing.
yes, or I guess
So like as long as
mindfulness
you
isn't.
will continue thinking about something, you will never die out. Entropy will not take into effect. Like this point will not happen where it converges back because you keep being conscious about it and keep putting energy into it. Therefore, like you're not allowing it to die. You're not allowing something to fizzle. You're adding fuel to the fire of something existing.
In
by
your words,
simply
though,
existing.
I'm hearing thinking about it as a synonym to consciousness, and that's not what I'm saying at all.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it in like the second death thing, where like a person dies the first time when they die physically, and then a person dies the second time when the last person thinks about them. Because then that is when they truly do
Kind of
not
like how it
exist.
is in what is that movie called? The Disney movie about
Yeah,
the Mexican.
yeah, that's like the concept
what
of
is
two
that called?
deaths. Like
Shit.
the
Do you know about
the one with
Dia
like
de los
the
Muertos?
yeah. Coco?
Coco.
Yeah.
Good. So, in a way, I think that's definitely correct. But I think even more than this, I just love that. Something I also talk about a lot in my show is that the levels of consciousness are really, they're gonna change things. And one of the Buddhist monks I have on my show, she's literally saying that it's in our evolution that when they practice, meditation, it's like literally like they've foreseen this, like the monks that have meditated for ages and ages and ages, that we are meant to become and evolve consciously as we go. That's our evolution. Like that's where we're going.
Do you want to read something that blows your mind?
Maybe.
Write it, like, you should probably write this down. There's a
Wait,
study.
where? What?
Write it down in your, like, Apple Notes.
Apple Notes, yes.
There is
Okay.
studies with...
I love that you say that because my tattoos are all about words. They're literally all words. Anyway, yeah,
Um,
go. Go.
There's I think it's called, it's like a study, like an actual, like, scientific study, and it's called the effects of like communal consciousness or something on random number generators.
Number of generators?
Yeah, of like maybe collective consciousness or the effect of consciousness on number generators. Essentially what they have is they have a bunch of machines around the world, spread out randomly around the world, like let's say 20 machines, and those machines are running a program that randomly picks a number every second. It picks a number. Now they almost never align and they never have the same sequence of things because all of them are randomly choosing numbers. The only times that they have done something like let's say all the machines, all 20 machines have picked 1 followed by 7 followed by 4. The only times that has ever happened is like moments of like tragedy. So like 9/11 and like things like that, like 9/11, like the 2004 earthquake, things that have genuinely shocked the world and have caused sorrow for like billions of people or millions of people have affected these random number generators. So in a sense,
So the collective grief.
the collective grief has had a physical effect on machines. A study, multiple studies that have proven this.
Wow. I mean, that to me makes a lot
The
of
effect
sense.
of mass consciousness, that's what it is.
The effect
Mass consciousness
of
on random like number generators.
Consciousness. So it's not even our predisposition biologically, like the monk that I have on my show was saying.
Yeah,
It's-
there's
it's
like
even
things
more
out
this-
there that could prove it.
almost like your responsibility as a human being, because if we collectively when we collectively grieve, something happens like that.
You're
Maybe
saying that collectively,
it's your
Yeah.
responsibility to be higher in terms of consciousness so that other
So-
beings can also be picked up, and this is for me what I'm talking about, this almost like this levitation of the dimension is almost like a responsibility
that like
must-
we can collectively do that.
yes,
So then
because other planets
have
are
a-
already doing it.
Going back to like a discussion of resources, given the grand scale of the universe and 7 billion of us, or however many,
8 billion, I think, right now.
8 billion, let's say multiple billion of us like act in a way that affects these like random number generators. If every single one of us acted or like felt the same way or acted spiritually in the same way, is that enough to affect?
It doesn't have to be
Entropy.
the same way. So don't get me wrong. Like I think any religion or any spiritual practice will get you there. It's just a level of consciousness.
But
And-
let's say like we have
and a level of awareness.
Yeah, but is that enough? Like, is there a amount of like spirituality that will affect this cyclical pattern?
Yes, only because the amount of energy that you'll generate as being more conscious, it's a lot greater than the energy that one generates as being less conscious.
But how much energy is needed?
Enough to make the spin. I don't know in terms of
Yeah.
quantification because I'm not a physicist, but
Yeah.
that would be a cool next conversation. How much energy is needed? I think, from what I've heard, other people talk about these levels of consciousness that I base my show on, is that he says that right now we have around 70% of the people in level conscious number 1, which is people that haven't really gotten conscious and aware of their surroundings, other people, they really haven't questioned most of the stuff. They're just doing exactly how their ancestors have been doing things. Sort of like
Yeah,
following the
first level,
rules
yeah.
and not really understanding things. Very dogmatic in terms of like, these are the rules. You should do it like this, and not actually going your own way. And if that 70% turns into 30%, meaning 40% levels up, that should be enough for the energy
To-
have a complete shift, and for the problems of the world actually can be completely different. So we're not going to be talking about world hunger anymore. We're not going to be talking about starvation. We're not going to be talking about rape or mass murder. We're going to be actually tackling other sorts of issues when those 40% go up.
Gotcha. It's like almost if like 40% of those people like developed a deeper sense of like empathy, then
Yeah, and
then you wouldn't have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, all of those
Potentially.
those will vanish. We're actually going to be talking about this. Maybe the conversation that we've had tonight about freedom, about the freedom of choice, that would be like an everyday, regular conversation that you just have that is just considered normal and not something that you do.
As part of
an
exercising like
ordinary day,
spiritually.
yes.
Yeah.
And the thinking mind. And also, I think for me, it's not just the spiritual practice of empathy and compassion, but also the activity in your brain, because I think that is so important. Like we were saying, like that's why I asked you, because I wanted to know your opinion. So someone who doesn't think, who doesn't have the brain activity to a
Doesn't
certain
process
extent,
at all.
it doesn't process, and it's not free. So I think we need to be more free in order to also
By allowing more people to have
yeah, and to have the cognitive ability of the brain to be to a minimal level that it's actually contributing to that energy. I think the brain, how fast you process thoughts, how intelligent you are. Because anyone can be intelligent, in my opinion. If you have a brain, you can be intelligent. It's just a matter of how much you practice it. Almost like soccer or like a skill, an athlete. So the
it's-
energy of the brain would also be highly influential on this, because you can tell someone having a highly intellectual, stimulating conversation reproduces a total different energy than a very low vibration energy. If you're always sad, if that person is always carrying so many problems, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
We know it. Like the energy is different, the vibration is different. How you much? I don't know about you, but oh my god, these conversations. Every Wednesday, they stimulate me and almost like they give me enough like push and energy for like so much, like almost like
so
3
many
or 4
other things.
days. And like it's like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
how did that happen? It's because of the brain activity, it's because of the consciousness, the awareness that is present here. I think they're all really, really overlapping
They're very
each other.
like they. I know what you mean. That in that they are like inspiring. Like they are. Like
Or just inspiration,
they're
yeah.
inspirational, and they're also like they. You're right. They feel like because like I have like recently been having more of these conversations, and it's causing me to be more conscious of things, or to
Right.
like think about things differently, or to be more mindful, or to
And it's
want to
life
do more
changing.
things. Yeah,
Right? It's because once it starts, it will literally spread, and it will literally like
Yeah.
because people want to be on that frequency.